Hello everyone, Dr. Tom Chaney here from Living Health Integrative Medicine in Annapolis. And in today's video, I want to answer two common questions that I get from my type 2 diabetics. One of the questions is, why am I continually getting worse despite doing everything I've been told by my doctor and following all of my doctor's advice? The second question is, why isn't my doctor providing the type of care that you're providing? And both of those questions, really important questions, and important for you to understand that it all goes back to the standards of medical care. And to discuss this further, I want to go through and talk to you about this chart here. And this chart comes from the American Diabetes Association. And this chart is in a document which is called the Standards of Medical Care for Type 2 Diabetics, or for diabetes. This is from the Type 2 diabetic section. So I want to review this with you so you understand the pharmacologic approach to treating type 2 diabetes. And this flow chart just outlines that approach, and I'm going to review it with you quickly. So at diagnosis, they're going to initiate lifestyle changes. The typical lifestyle changes that most of my diabetics have been told prior to coming to see me is they need to change their diet, they need to lose weight, and they need to exercise. It also says, let's set an A1C target, initiate pharmacologic therapy based on the A1C. So you're going to look at the A1C. If the A1C is 9% or less, they're going to typically move to prescribing you one pill, and that one pill is typically metformin, and that's based on this chart: monotherapy, lifestyle management, and metformin. Now if it's above 9%, it says consider dual therapy, so that would mean metformin plus one other pill. If it's above 10%, then we're going to then consider injectable therapy, so that may be the person that gets jumped right to insulin. So let's just take a scenario where you're at 8.5%. That's where your A1C is. You get diagnosed. So they're going to start with monotherapy. They're going to tell you change your diet, lose weight, exercise, and then prescribe metformin. Maybe they prescribe 1,000 milligrams of metformin. They tell you to take 500 in the morning, 500 at night, and maybe even send you off to a diabetic education class or a nutritionist or dietitian. This is what I hear from most of my patients that have come in. This is how the typical treatment program, this is how it progresses. Now what happens is, initially the body will, the medication will suppress the numbers, and the numbers will go down. So your A1C may drop, but what we see is that it's not fixing the underlying root causes of the problem, so the problem gets worse over time. And if you look at some of the other videos where we talk about the causes of type 2 diabetes, that's what I'm talking about. So the underlying root causes continually get worse, and then the numbers over time creep back up, and then you go back into your doctor's office and you get your A1C rechecked, and it's out of range again. If it's out of range again, then they're going to look at the flow chart and decide, what are we going to do next? And you can see that on this flow chart, the next step is dual therapy. So once again, we're maxed out metformin. Say we're at 2,000 milligrams of metformin. Then we're going to add a second medication, maybe something like Januvia, maybe glipizide. Those are two common medications that I see walking into my office. And then we're going to tell you to change your diet, lose weight, and exercise. So once again, this may suppress the numbers for a period of time, but over time your body adapts. The causes have not been addressed, so they're continually getting worse over time. You may even have complications to some of these medications as well. And as the numbers creep back up and go back out of range, then we go down to the third step, which is triple therapy. They may add an injectable at this point. They may give you another oral, but once again, it's going to be more pharmaceuticals. And then at the very bottom, so once the numbers go out of range again, say triple therapy does not work as far as suppressing these numbers, then we go down to combination injectable therapy, and that's where we typically see insulin come in. And that's the typical progression that I see with my patients that are coming into my practice. this is the approach that's being followed. It's a pharmacological approach as opposed to the approach that we take in our practice, which is a functional medicine approach. It's based on looking at the root causes and addressing why the person has high sugars, why do they have these imbalances, and we address the metabolic imbalances for the individual. It's also going to be tailored and individualized for exactly what that patient needs. There's no one cookie cutter diet or supplement or pharmacological regimen that's going to work for everyone. So I hope that helps answer those questions, guys, and I hope you got some great information from this video, and I'll see you in the next video.